2001: A Space Odyssey was a pioneering movie of its time. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, filmed and edited by Ray Lovejoy, sound edited by Winston Ryder, and mixed by H.L. Bird, this movie is a perfect showcase of excellent sound in film. One major part of sound in film is its design. Sound design, as stated in the book Looking at Movies, defines it as creating a sound for the film. Two very interesting things about this movie and its sound are that Stanley Kubrick asked Alex North, a Hollywood composer, to score the film. He gave Alex familiar music pieces as a guide pieces for inspiration. Then in post-production, Kubrick decided to use the guiding pieces, which included R. Strauss's Also Sprach Zarathustra, that he gave Alex rather than the score that Alex had written. He never told Alex that he didn't use the score, and he did not find out until the movie premiered and he watched it for the first time. Kubrick decided to shape the movie around the score rather than shape the score around the movie. This then puts the movie into a three-part structure, mimicking a piece of music. Another interesting thing about this movie is despite the runtime being 149 minutes, there are only 40 minutes of dialogue, and the film's first scene with dialogue doesn't happen until a half an hour into the film. This shows that Kubrick knows that you do not need to rely on dialogue to have a great movie. Music, ambient sound, and silence are enough to portray an amazing story. To explain ambient sound, it is the sound which emanates from the background of the setting or the environment being filmed. This sound is perfectly used to set scenes and make the movie a more immersive experience. Sound is a crucial part of life. Sound gives an entire layer of content to something that has it. There are two sources of sound, and they are diegetic and non-diegetic. To define diegetic sound, it is any sound presented as originated from a source within the film's world. That may be voices of characters, sounds made by objects in the story, or music represented from coming from instruments inside the story space. An example of diegetic sound in the movie is when Dave is taking apart Hal towards the end of the movie. This is an incredible scene with amazing sound portrayal of how Hal is dying slowly by being taken apart. The sound of this scene adds so much depth to the actions being done. Non-diegetic sound is represented as coming from the source outside the story space. That may be narrator's commentary, sound effects, or mood music. An example of non-diegetic sound is the score of this film. The music of the film is another way that Kubrick expresses the beauty and mystery of space. But also with so much beautiful sound, there is the use of silence. Kubrick dared to use silence as to show the beauty that a shot can hold standing alone. Like the movie Interstellar, in the scene where they are going through the wormhole, there's a perfect use of a score and ambient sound to narrate the scene. 2001: A Space Odyssey uses sound like no other film. It truly makes the movie what it is today, a true classic. This concludes my movie review on the sound of 2001: A Space Odyssey.